it's Red Snapper and Nutmeg. Yay! Welcome to the Showgirl's Closet. Okay, here you go, my little Ewok. May the 4th be with you. On our Star Wars theme, I have more Star Wars stuff. Today we will look at my Bespin or Cloud City Leia costume and all of the fun that goes with it. Here we go. I've talked before about how I like to have these gown covers that kind of match the costume, so it's really easy for me to find it and no one goes home with my suit bag. So this was the best I could do, is I could find a pink one. And I've got all sorts of fun stuff in there. You know what, Nutmeg? That is a good idea. I'm going to start with the shoes. I couldn't find the perfect color ballet flats, and I needed something that was easy to dance in, and she wears something like ballet flats. So I bought these probably, oh yeah, that's from Walmart. Faded Glory, that's a Walmart shoe. I stuffed something inside of them, taped them off, not a great job taping them off, and then I painted them with floral spray paint because that was how I could get the right color on these shoes. I think the first time I performed this, it might have been 2018. So they've lasted. Pretty good, yeah? Nutmeg approves. All right, I have undergarments first, and they are not as super cool as I would love for them to be. But you know, that's part of it. Looking at what I've done, what works, what didn't work, and learning from those things so I can make improvements or I can discard and just take the lesson forward. So this act is basically a parody of a parody. In Drop Dead Gorgeous, Denise Richards' character comes out and performs Can't Take My Eyes Off You with a Jesus puppet stuffed doll that's on a cross and dances with it. And I thought, you know, it'd be hilarious would be dancing with Han Solo. So I have a large stuffed Han Solo that I dance around with. He's on, you know, a thing. And then we become very familiar with one another rolling across the stage. And I hurt my hip the first night I performed this, and I had another act. I think I had Greedo the next night, and I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be really fun moving around because I was tight after that. And you could hear the thump backstage from the fun that I had with the Han Solo as part of the act. Anyway, and I recognize that this is the Cloud City outfit that she wears at the dinner, not the outfit that she wears when he's being put in Carbonite. This is a better outfit. Honestly, it's a much better outfit. All right, so the undergarments. I used to subscribe to Adore Me's Bra of the Month, basically, Bra and Panty of the Month Club. So I have these, and I used some leftover fabric, just like Greedo. My costume, my jumpsuit was just a bit too long, so I had this left over, and I made bows. These are not the best undergarments. These were the last things that I dealt with. I just needed something that would work. So I didn't even change out the hooks on the back of this. There are no rhinestones. It is very straightforward, and I do have to wear a nude thong under this because it is very sheer. So these are pieces that I would rebuild. I do have a Yuji from Christina Manouge of Manouge et Toi. This episode is not sponsored by anyone, but I did get one from her and I thought I could wear it in this act. And then I realized, oh, I am a sweaty thing. If I'm trying to thrust on the stage and roll around, that's gonna pop off. And that's, you know, more than that audience is paying for. I don't know that I have pictures of the process for this cape, but it was a process, and it was very much look at a cosplay site to see what needs to happen. So the Princess Leia, what is this? This cloak, I guess. Where are you going? So this was before we had this particular YouTube channel, and I don't know that I have processed photos from this, but the original was made with curtains, embroidered curtains. So I went to a cosplay forum and I looked at what people did and I figured out, what do I need to do? Because it was for stage and burlesque, I decided I would use some organza, and I painstakingly painted the designs on the organza. But it gives a nice flow, and I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do in the act, how I wanted to move. It's possible that I would have decided to put this back on at the end, which, you know, I could. Middle-aged person, I'd probably want to put this on at the end. I believe we found the pattern on a cosplay site, specifically this pattern to paint on here, and I used shiny paint because, hello, burlesque. For the top section, it just said, oh, cut something out. This is not as pretty because it was freehand as it could be if it was based on like a real pattern and not just something I quickly put on some paper. It's not as pretty as it could be, but if I rebuild this, and I just might, it will be much prettier. It would be much tidier. But this is like a piece of cotton batting sandwiched between a layer of this, I want to say it's lining, like suit lining fabric, and more organza with top stitching. And then because there was a little bit of gold on the original, I took some of the gold paint to the edges. It's like an antique gold. The inside here, it's hand stitched, gathered and hand stitched all along the inside. Not the prettiest, but it looks really good. If I were to rebuild this, I might use chiffon for even more float. But if I did chiffon, then it might not be such a comedic act because, you know, this, oh yeah, this is one of the problems with paint. It can stick to itself. It might not be such a comedic act. This is timed out to work with that music and the Star Wars theme. So there's not a whole lot of time to dance around to Leia's theme. Ooh, yay. Doing fancy, stepping on myself, doing fancy twirling in this as a cape. But if I rebuilt it, it would be like, it'd probably be, okay, here's a more serious thing. I'm not going to become intimate with Han Solo. This is just this is only a tribute. If I redid the cape and I put it on chiffon, I would probably embroider or potentially hand bead. It kind of depends on how it feels to me. So with Mega Costume, I have that really lovely drape that has hand beading on the edge and a nice little Art Deco pattern that's hand beaded. This would be a lot of hand beading. A whole lot of hand beading, but embroidery might not be that bad. Whatever I would do, it would add some weight to the fabric so it might not move as nicely. It might not float as much. I would work with chiffon instead of silk, like polyester chiffon instead of a silk chiffon, because silk is so delicate and I am so gross and sweaty and going on stages and dragging things across the floor and all of that. I wouldn't want the silk, the white or cream silk, to get nasty. You could tell. With this, it's not so bad, and I can easily throw this in the sink and hand wash it. Not necessarily worry as much about it staining because it's plastic. More or less. I have a little belt here. I know she wears a tunic, but I was going for something easy peasy. So this is that same lining fabric. I looked to see what the shape was. I made the thing in the shape with a little bit of extra at the end, and it just snaps on over the jumpsuit that I have. gives me another thing to take off, and it's pretty, you know, pretty standard, pretty easy. And if middle age adds a little bit of volume, I can adjust with it. Hi, buddy. The last piece here is a jumpsuit that I ordered on Amazon. It's the perfect color. And I know it's not the tunic and pants, but I love a good jumpsuit. I really do. And this was just right. I didn't add rhinestones to it. Maybe that's why I didn't rhinestone the bra. There aren't really rhinestones on the costume, which is weird for me. I dyed the snap tape to a color as close as I could so you don't see bright white snap tape in here. And it closes up the sleeve, so I would, you know, undo the sleeve, pull the arm out, and then it's a lot easier to wriggle out of the rest of it. It does have little belt loops. Are these? These may have already been on here. I may have used the tie-on belt that was attached to help make those bows. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I didn't cut anything off the bottom. That's exciting for me. I was tall enough to ride this ride. Wow. So I guess I just made the bows out of what the belt, like what we had for this long belt. But yeah, so I wore this, popped this over the top, danced around, you know, with these funny little shoes. I will put on the whole thing so that you can see it all together. Ta-da! Here it is. And Nutmeg was trying to help wear it, wearing it as a nest. Here you go, babe. It looks good. The silhouette's good. I know that it would be more true to form if I had a tunic, and who knows, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a two-piece, you know, peel off a tunic and some breeches. Maybe, but I like it. It looks nice. This could sit better, but a new version would sit better. Or I could just remake this collar piece and attach this to a freshly made collar. That may be the place for me to start. But looks great. I'm pleased with how it looks in the act. It's nice. Now this is a bit wrinkly because it's been sitting in a suit bag, so I'd probably want to steam it. And my hair, oh, well, actually, here's an important thing. Important point here. You see that? It has pockets. I love that. Okay, my hair.
You kind of have Bo-Katan hair.
I do kind of have Bo-Katan. You know, I was thinking of what Star Wars acts I could build that I don't have. I could do Bo-Katan. There are other people who do Bo-Katan, but I could also, my Bo-Katan would probably be ridiculous.
But you wouldn't have to do anything special with your hair.
No, I wouldn't really have to do anything with my hair. I wouldn't have to do a wig or anything. Yeah. Or Mon Mothma. I could do, it would probably be the Andor version because of the hair, honestly. But okay, so I am a ginger. I tend to make things ginger. I ginger-fy them. I think that's an official word now. I ginger-fy them. So I could wear a brown wig, but no, I'm going with a ginger wig. So my good friend, Vivian Vermouth.
Would that be ginger-fication?
I think that would be ginger-fication. Yeah, I think that would be ginger-fication. So my good friend, Vivian Vermouth, made a custom wig for me. I'm not putting it on right now, but they made this fabulous wig, lace front wig, gorgeous wig, nice braids, big bun. I kind of wanted a big bun so that it would read well from stage, and it looks amazing. In the photographs, it is just incredible. The first time I did Leia, Vivian helped me get my hair in order, and I had little braids to add. And they helped get them put in place because I am just a mess with that sort of thing. But the second time I did Leia, this Leia, they made this custom wig for me and I love it, and it just looks fantastic, and it makes things easier backstage. I am trying to wear wigs more for backstage because my hands get tired when I roll my hair. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy person. But I want wigs that, you know, look like my natural hair because I want people to go, oh, that's amazing. Look at that. How did you do your hair? And that's just well, it's not really a secret, but I'm telling you, but they don't know that. They don't know that it's faux. It looks amazing. That's it for this episode. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and boop that bell for notifications. Many thanks to my patrons who have supported all of this over the years. You helped me make this costume. You helped me buy all the parts. You helped me pay for wigs, makeup, all of it. I appreciate you so much. May the force be with you. See you next time. Bye.